Welcome to another edition of GW Unspoken, where we discuss stuff we don't typically talk about but probably should. And well, we're here with Season 10, Episode 2, and we're talking about mindfulness. And is your mind, was it a mess? Or is it just overstimulated? If your thoughts are racing and if you're distracted 24/7, if you feel like your brain is a browser with 47 tabs open, well, congratulations, you're not broken. You're actually human. And you're living in an age of mental noise pollution. Well, let's talk about that. This is a problem. You've been led to believe that mindfulness is the antidote to a faulty mind, that'll solve everything. And, that if we can't focus or if we overthink or we forget what we walked in the room for, we must be lazy, unfocused or emotionally unwell or got ADHD or OCD or some kind of condition. But here's the real issue. Your mind isn't malfunctioning. It's overfed. It's actually under-rested. And from the moment you wake up, your nervous system is absolutely bombarded. You think about it when you wake up. Notifications, you're multitasking, there's always background noise, you've probably got decision fatigue already, and it's your brain. It isn't failing. It's doing exactly what it's wired to do, respond to inputs. And the issue is you're living in a world of inputs with no off switch, and our brain wasn't meant for that. Our brain wasn't meant to be overstimulated the way it is. There's so many people out there now who say, technology's made us do so many more things and be more efficient. But the problem is that the workforce now expects us, we should be doing more, and we actually are doing more because we're more efficient, and that actually leads to more stress. And so let's get a little bit nerdy here. I'm going to read this out word for word because I've got a study here I looked at from 2019 from the University of California. They found that the average person consumes the equivalent, this is word for word, of 34 gigabytes of information a day, and that's the same as reading 100,000 words. So our brains, which evolved in quiet survival focused environments, are now processing more data in one day than our ancestors did in a lifetime. So I'll say it again. We are now processing more data in one day than our ancestors did in a long lifetime, their whole lifetime. There's another study that was published in the Nature Communications that found that attention spans are actually shrinking, and it's in direct correlation to the increased digital media exposure which I just talked about. So it's no surprise, right? It's no surprise. This overstimulation activates your sympathetic nervous system, the fight, flight, or freeze response, and it makes sustained presence nearly impossible. You talk to someone. I challenge you next time you go and talk to somebody, how many times they look away. How many times they look away. And I know some is a cultural thing, but how many times they get distracted, how easy it is distracted, whether it's their iWatch going off, whether it's their phone vibrating in their pocket, whether it's someone just walking past and they can't just actually focus on you and your conversation. Well, here's the good news. Mindfulness doesn't need to shut down your mind. It just helps you take that volume down so you can focus. And so here's what might surprise you. Mindfulness doesn't mean having a blank mind. So many people give up on mindfulness because they think, I just still can't stop thinking. I'm trying this practice, but I still can't stop thinking. Here's a new flash. Neither can I. Neither can anyone. Thinking is what your brain does. That's its actual job. It's supposed to look for things. It's supposed to take you away from fear or put you towards good things. So it's always on alert. It's always on. And mindfulness is not about stopping your thoughts. It's about not getting dragged behind like a rough or a rogue shopping trolley. It's about noticing, naming, and gently returning. And if you're someone who's been told you're too intense or too analytical or too sensitive, guess what? You're probably made for mindfulness. You just haven't been given a version that maybe respects how your mind works. And let's be honest, your mind is chaotic. Mine is too. It's like a toddler with a permanent marker running around a white wall. Creative, chaotic, dramatic, extremely committed. And you don't punish a toddler for being curious. You guide them, right? You direct them. You redirect them. And that's what mindfulness is. It's gently guiding your mind back to the moment over and over and over again with the patience you would actually show a curious child. It's exactly the same. So here's how we can work with overstimulation, not against it. Here's a couple of ideas for people out there who might have an overstimulated brain. Number one, micro hits of mindfulness. Don't wait for 20 minutes silent block. Don't wait for something or say, I'll do mindfulness, here, there, and everywhere. Just practice in 30-second sips. So while waiting in line, while washing your hands, before checking your phone, do it for 30 seconds. Number two, label the noise. Sometimes when we name it, we tame it. So if your mind is racing, try this. Say, hey, that's a planning thought, or man, that's an anxious story I'm telling myself in my brain, or why am I getting so distracted like that? That's just a distraction what I'm doing right now. So when you name it, it gives you space from it. All right. And the other thing is you can use your senses. So when your mind is loud and, drop into the body and say, what can I see? What can I smell? what can I hear right now? Just little prompts to yourself. And I know it's going to be weird for a lot of people and they'll easily fob this off. I'm telling you now, if you're overstimulated, nothing's going to change unless you change. So test yourself. Try not to think it's fluff. Just challenge yourself. What if this is right? What if you're an overstressed human being and things aren't working for you right now? What have you got to lose? All right, there's plenty of apps out there that can actually show you some guided meditation if you can't do it yourself or you're worried about doing it yourself. So your senses are your anchor. Your breath is the rope. Use them to pull yourself back. So look, here's again with our journal prompts. I know people are probably sick of me saying this, but again, what gets measured improves. So it's a good idea just to write these things down and not just do it in your head. So 3 prompts for this week. Number 1, what's currently overstimulating your mind? How's it impacting how you actually show up? Like, be specific. Is it your phone? Is it people? Is it deadlines? Is it procrastination? What is it that's actually overstimulating your mind and how's it impacting you? So write them down. Number 2, when was the last time that you felt truly present? What was different in that moment? What made you present? Was it because it was purpose? Was it a certain connection? Was it one of your passions? What was it? When were you truly present? And identify what helped that moment happen. What was it? Can you translate that to other parts of your world, other parts of your day? And talking about that, here's number 3. What is one moment in your day routine that you can reclaim as like a micro mindfulness pause? So was it, I get up in the morning early and start doing some work before the kids are awake. So I get down here and do the same routine of boiling the jug and getting some grinding coffee in there and making probably a loud noise, waking people up, the dogs up, and just smelling that coffee. And it's 20 or 30 seconds, just the beans getting ground up is a mindfulness moment for me. When I think about that now, it's like, yeah, it is routine, but it actually does ground me. Get it? Ground coffee? It does actually ground me to think I'm present, I'm up early, I feel like I'm winning the day because I'm starting how I want to start the day. And it just gives me that pause. So what is it for you? What is it before you start unlocking your phone and getting the day and getting distracted and getting overstimulated? What is, before all these inputs that we talked about, what is it something you can do? Just focus for 30 seconds and actually praise yourself, talk yourself up to actually beat the day, own your day and get set. Because everyone's going to have crap happen to them throughout the day. But you've started the day off with a winning formula by actually focusing on yourself. And look, that's it for episode 2 of GW Unspoken. And you're not broken, you're not too much. You're just human in a hyper-stimulated world. And mindfulness isn't a luxury for the enlightened. It's actually a life raft for the overloaded. Start small and then try again tomorrow. And I'm Gary, and I want to thank you for joining us for GW Unspoken. And we'll come to you in episode 3 very shortly.